I talk a lot about presence in my business and I talk about a lot about presence with my children, but you just said it's presence with ourselves too,
Yeah.
right? It's presence with
Yeah.
ourselves. Like we use the word balance or presence or harmony or whatever we use, it's usually exterior. And I think it's such an important point because this brand is about presence with ourselves so that we can
Yeah.
have presence with others. Because
Absolutely.
it really does start with us. And that's what that's, and again, it's those little habits.
Sorry. It's discontinued. I'm so excited because today I get to introduce you to someone whose story truly inspired me. I recently sat down with Jyoti Lohman, founder of The Beauty Way, a luxury body care brand based in Austin. Her journey started with the lessons her mother, Jacqueline, taught her as a young girl about balance, nurturing yourself, and learning who you are. She carried those values through her studies at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in San Francisco, later studying trend forecasting and fashion styling in Paris. Can you imagine? Before building a successful 12-year career in luxury fashion, with brands and stores, including Giorgio Armani and Bloomingdale's. After falling in love, traveling the world with her husband, and becoming a mother, her desire to create something meaningful of her own kept growing and eventually became The Beauty Way. What I love most about this brand is that it's more than body care. It's about slowing down, creating rituals, and putting yourself first through products filled with intention, affirmations, and care. Jyoti's journey reminded me not to give up on creativity or the things we feel called to build inside ourselves. And I know she'll inspire you too. So have a seat and let's get to know Jyoti Lohman. Well, first off, before we even get started, because it's just naturally you and I feel like we
Yeah.
could just go into like, hey, how's it going? It's just
Yeah.
so easy. But I want to welcome Jyoti Lohman, the founder
Great
of the
job.
Beauty Way. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a tough one. You did great.
It's beautiful. Oh, I love it.
Thank
It
you.
just kind of
Thank you.
flows. But the founder of the Beauty Way, luxury body care brand based in Austin. I am so excited. And honestly, I'm so honored to have you on. Sorry, it's discontinued with me because your story and your journey, it's inspiring. I feel like we're kindred spirits in
I
a
know.
way. Being a 50-year-old woman that is just a woman at this time in my life, wanting to change it up, not being defined by necessarily my career, or being a mom, or these different titles and hats that we wear, but really creative individuals just going for it. So
Yep.
I'm so thankful to have you.
Well,
So
I couldn't
thanks
be
for
more
being
happy to be here. And yeah, I just want to chat. So how fun for me. I get to chat about something I love with someone who just already brings me joy.
Aw, hey,
Yeah.
ditto. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I like to start I want to know how your morning has been because it's a Monday. And
Hmm.
I know a lot goes on in our day-to-day lives, especially as a mom. And you have two young, beautiful kids
Hmm.
living in Austin. So busy mom,
Busy
you
mom,
know?
5 and 8. Um, yeah, so it's a busy morning. I sort of love Mondays though. I don't get the Sunday scaries because I am so fortunate to be doing something I absolutely love and sort of live, eat, sleep, drink. The philosophy behind the brand of purposeful pauses and soaking up quiet time and space. So Monday mornings are like such a reset for me and such I just look forward to them. It is a
Yeah.
busy time, but it's a brand new day, right? It's
Oh,
like,
I agree. I
yeah,
love
I
Mondays.
love Mondays.
I do. Mondays they're really one of my favorite days of the week. Like you said, it's like this wonderful reset
It's such a
and just
wonderful
kind of
reset.
thinking about all the fun things and things that I want to do for the
The list
week.
is
So,
long on Mondays. Um, but
of
I
course,
generally yeah, the list is always long, but I do, it's such a reset, and I love to, I usually block out a good amount of Mondays just for kind of, um getting things focused. I love to do, kind of my 3 top things I need to get done on a Monday, because it can be overwhelming. So that's kind of my way that why
yeah,
Mondays are fun for me because I give myself the grace of like, what are the 3 things I need to get done to really feel accomplished today? And we've got swim team starting and we've got baseball tonight and we've got all the things. So, I pick my 3, yeah, lots going on. I pick my 3
lots
that
going on.
need to get done and then, just kinda work through those, and,
Yeah,
um, Monday's
that's
a
great.
grace day. Just
Yeah.
try to get
I
what we can get
agree with
done.
doing it kind of limiting just to the few kind of top things, or else it does get overwhelming and the list can get scary to where, like, I'm just gonna go back to bed.
Well, and I think that's why we get scared of Mondays because it's
I
like
know.
we've taken a couple days to relax and it's just like things pile up. Nothing stops, right? Like things
No.
still keep going. So you think like, "Oh
You're
my
like, "I
gosh, I
have
have
to
to."
do my laundry again? I just
I
did
I
this."
just did it. Yeah. So, but I love that opportunity to kind of start over. If you had a bad week last week or something didn't go right on the weekend,
Yeah.
it's a little
Yeah.
refresh, reset, and
It's a absolute a nice pivot, reset, reboot. Well, I'm excited to dive into your journey and your story. I like to find out when, when people are younger and what really grabbed them, inspired them when they were children or teenagers, when that moment was that you really kind of fell in love with beauty and fashion and began your journey. Like what were those moments or inspirations for you?
I think it's probably I'm gonna assume this is similar for you, always since the day I was born. I love, I'm a Libra, so, like, beauty astrology-wise, I'm ruled by the planet Venus, and it's all about beauty and comfort. So, I think that for me, being in beauty in, really authentic relationships, I consider beauty just around me in my house, what I'm wearing, how my hair is. Beauty has always been something that's much more skin deep and just makes me feel good,
Well, I
creating
read
beautiful
that
spaces.
your mom was a big inspiration.
Huge. So I think that, uh, my mom's very much of a spiritual being, but also very, very luxe. So I think I got a manicure pedicure when I was maybe, and now girls get them all the time, but
You're
this was ahead of
right.
time. I had a facial, I think at 6, she named me Inner Light, as an Indian Sanskrit word, but then was like, "We need to get highlights." So, she was very into products and we would make products, and a lot of the inspiration behind the brand and beauty and products was that she was really, back in the '80s, very clear about self-care and about
Wow.
taking time from a busy, stressful life and doing retreats. She would do meditation. She would move her body. She would get her hair done. I think I got my colors done around 5.
Are you
Also,
serious?
yeah,
At 5 years old? That's incredible.
also my Reiki degree. So, it was like this interesting mix
I
of
love your
like,
mom. I'd love to have you
sh-
both on in the future and just talking
she's
about that. That's incredible.
She's so fun. She's like, "You can meditate in stilettos," you know? She was great. So I had this love of beauty and this love of taking care of ourselves and signaling to ourselves
Self-care.
that you're
Yeah.
worth it to, and I really it resonated so much when I had kids. And, before that, there's a lot of time, more time to create space for yourself. But as I had kids, I was like, "Oh, there's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
You have to carve it
It's
out."
more important than ever
And
because
it's more
then they
important than
see
ever.
you doing that and then they're inspired to take care of themselves and wanting to. have that in their life, that self-love, you
It's
know?
that self-love, and it's so
Mhm.
true, and I think not only are they seeing you, but I think when I'm spiritually, emotionally, fulfilled and feel beautiful inside and out, I'm just such a better mom. I'm more patient, I'm more open, I'm more connected, than when I'm just frazzled, right? It doesn't work
Yeah.
for anybody. So she taught me that a long time ago, and she's just also like a beauty lover. So, again, we were, you know, meditating and then, also getting facials. So
What's your
it's just
mom's
this
first name?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
Yeah,
Ah,
she's
it
she's
sounds
fun.
like such a fitting name for your mom, being such
Yes.
a luxe, self-love, just spiritual person. Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
definitely. So we had a lot of fun, and as I grew up, we just loved, I've just always been a product lover, and we've traveled, pretty extensively and, not only for research, but we would definitely go to all the spas, and, we were in Bali and Thailand, and I went with my husband, and, we were in Italy and Iceland and Morocco, and so I sort of collected all these ancient beauty rituals, and those really fed into my products and,
Your
um,
inspiration.
my inspiration.
How did you go from this journey with your mom and self-care, self-love, and then to college? You knew you were gonna go into retail, and how did that lead you to your career in retail? Sorry, it's
Yes,
kind of a
yeah, we have
loaded question there.
well, no, we have so much in common with the retail. Yeah, that's a whole portion of it. So again, in that beauty, I was always very interested in, like, I would get so fashion is a part of all this. My mom would tell me
Yeah.
that, like, I would get new shoes or new clothes and sleep in them. Like, I was just like, "This is so fabulous."
You are
So,
not leaving my side. I
you are
am
not
keeping you
leaving
on
my
my body.
side. These white boots with fringe and turquoise are
Yes. I had a pair of those. Yes.
right? Well, they're back.
Uh-huh.
Um
They are back.
They're back. So I ended up going to college originally for interior design because again, it's all that beauty around us, right? And how we feel, and the calming of the nervous system with beauty, and how the energy flows in our homes. And I ended up pivoting. I went to Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in San Francisco.
Wow.
And I ended up switching from interior design because it was much more technical. And I'm not a technical person. I'm a
More of a
like
creative,
I'm more of a
free
creative
thinker,
freak.
like
Yeah. I was like, I don't wanna know the square footage of anything. I wanna create. So I went into product development, which has served me well because I develop products. And then after San Francisco, I got an associate's, in product development, and then I went down to Los Angeles and finished, with a BA in fashion marketing, and ended up going over to Paris and studying fashion styling and trend forecasting and going to the um the factories where they were creating like the boucle for Chanel. My mom ended up meeting me over there and we had a great time. So did my dad. But she got like a remnant of like a Chanel boucle suit. And so she's got like a shawl that's Chanel because we were visiting all these amazing factories and
did you get to
um
go into the Rue Cambon, 31 Rue Cambon, the store, her original store? Well, not the original,
all
but
the
the store with the
places.
staircase and
Yes. We got to do it all. We got to do it all. Um, so that was just
great
that
memories.
was so yeah, and just so eye-opening.
Yeah.
Just the joie de vivre there and just the overall chicness of like just how they live and dress um and how they do it from what feels good. And it ends up
Yeah.
being beautiful because 'cause they're so
That
chic.
attention to
Um, that
detail.
attention to
Everything has
exactly.
intention. The
Everything has
little
intention.
thread and little, with the camellia and just all of that, and
All of that.
it ugh, yeah, there's intention behind all of it.
There's intention behind all of it, and it was all so beautiful, and I ended up coming back to California and getting a job with Giorgio Armani in San Francisco. So in their flagship in San Francisco. And so I was doing visual direction for their 2 stores there. And so I had a great introduction with another beautiful designer and again,
Yeah.
that attention to detail. And then I was recruited over to opening the Bloomingdale's, the flagship Bloomingdale's in San Francisco. And just what an incredible experience. I had heard of it was such a dream. I had heard of Bloomingdale's. Do you remember Splash?
Of course. One of my
Okay.
favorite movies.
Same,
Yeah.
same. So she goes into Bloomingdale's, and so I
I
living on
know.
the West Coast, I had never known it was in New York, but, they opened in San Francisco, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Bloomingdale's." So it was this, like, kinda moment, like, I remember that from, like, really a long time ago in that movie.
Bloomingdale's? I can hear her
Bloomingdale's, yeah,
saying it.
totally. So I was like, "Whatever you want me to do, I'm here.
I'm here. I'm all for it.
I'm all for it." So and that was, such an incredible experience because I was um, a merchandise manager for all of women's designer and all of women's contemporary. So I had so much creative freedom. And that was also where I met so many people in beauty because there was the whole beauty floor. And I was telling you about Space NK was there. Um, and I love people. I find them fascinating, and I just
Yeah.
loved
Same.
connecting. Yeah, I just loved connecting with people day in and day out, and it was always and I think I love retail because it's never the same. You
Yeah.
always There's always something new, and there's
It's
this
always evolving.
it's always
Yeah.
evolving, and there's this wonder of, like, you never know what's gonna happen. You never know who you're gonna connect with, and then you meet people, and you're like, "I'm selling you something, but actually we're having such a connection," and it just fed my soul to be around people and, to also be developing the visual direction for the West Coast, and that led me
Wow,
to
Jyoti, that's
yeah.
incredible.
That was amazing, and that led me to they ended up moving me to Los Angeles, and I opened up the Bloomingdale's in Santa Monica, which was a pared down version of their normal, very big stores. It was just kind of the best of the best, and I was the senior merchandise manager for that store and also got to, help develop the direction of that store and again in Southern California. And so sort of worked my way through in retail
Yeah.
and then ended up working for a company called, Intermix. But so most of my experience was in fashion, because the beauty is kind of it's just like it's all the things together. And so I had that experience of why people connect with products. I have that experience of merchandising. I had that experience of how to do promotions and all kind of all that back end stuff in the retail space.
Your career with, Bloomingdale's and the next was it you said Intermix?
Giorgio Armani and
Yes.
Intermix and, yeah, studying,
Oh my
trend
gosh.
forecasting and all of that in Paris. It was an incredible journey, and I only left it because we decided to have kids and really wanted to take some time and to be home with them. So it was, it took me a minute to sort of get out of the fast pace beauty connection and with people and um, I love seeing what's new and, you know, taking the trends and then making them mine and,
Yeah, I mean, what a
I love it all.
shift.
Yeah.
Huge
Big
shift
shift.
from going from, "What are we doing today? I gotta get this. I have this meeting on the books. I've gotta get with this brand and what's happening and get ready for the new season and numbers,"
Yes.
and and then
You know,
going from that into having time for
managing yeah,
yourself.
managing $200 million in inventory. And then we actually moved at the same time. I moved to Austin from Southern California when I was 6 months pregnant.
Oh, wow.
So big shift. We were up for it. Um, and it's been the best decision of my life. It gave me, uh, there was such a learning curve to being a mom, but it also gave me some space to figure out my next moves and to connect with my inner voice. Um, and to really practice that self-care
Mhm.
and making space for myself as a woman and as me outside of career, outside of mom. And I really tapped into the lessons. It was like
Yeah.
very apparent when I had my kids and I was like, oh, okay, that was what my mom was doing. Got it. So
It
kind of
brings it all
reconnecting with
back.
it brings it
Yeah.
all back. And I really recognize the importance of that connection. And a big part of self-care for me and any creative is being creative, right? You
Yeah.
know, it's expressing ourselves. It's whether it's gardening or for me it was creating a product. And when my daughter was about I had a thriving stay-at-home mom life. We did so many art projects and we were out and about and in nature and it was such a special time. And when my daughter was about 1, I just started getting that. I didn't lose myself, but I started getting that ache of creating something outside of being a mom.
So you started to get that, those kind of thoughts were starting to come in of
Yeah.
what am I missing here and what do I need?
What do I
And
need? So
yeah.
my son was about 3 and she was 1, and I just sort of said, I just started praying for, God, universe, spirit, what is that piece that's missing for me? Because I have a good life. It was never a lack of gratitude or unhappiness. It was just like this passion inside me that was like, okay, what's next? And I
Yeah.
just sat with it. I sat with it and I just kind of carved out time to have some alone time, right? And that self care. And I think like when we quiet the noise, we can kind of listen to ourselves. And we all get different messages. We all have things that we need to do in our lives. And that for me, it was reconnecting with my creative side. And I've just always loved products. And I have always been being raised by my mom. It was so important for things to be clean. At, she was doing organic. She's a trendsetter. She was doing organic in the 80s. You're right. And so,
No,
we
that's
would
what
make
yeah.
yeah, she was just like she was rocking the conscious parenting,
Oh,
at a long time ago. So it
yeah.
was time for me to reconnect with that part of myself.
Was there a
And
product that really you started thinking about and was really the first beginning of the beauty way? How did those kind of juices like start to get flowing to where that led you here? Like, was it a
well,
moment or
there's a part to the story that kind of brings it all together. When I was still living in San Francisco working for Bloomingdale's, I this is like sort of the like very beginning seed origin story. It was Christmas time and my mom and I had always like loved products. We were always looking for the best body scrub. We would go to spas a lot. And so we'd be in the sauna and we'd be doing scrubs and, there would be conditioner in our hair. We'd be conditioning overnight and, you know, all the things. And for Christmas time, I decided to make people a bunch of scrubs and I was adding in like shea oil and, creating these really luxe formulas and giving them out for Christmas just because I was like, not making a ton of money and had a ton of friends. And I was like, okay, let me find a fun way to create
yeah,
something for them. So this was back when I
yeah.
was in my early 20s.
And it's
And
such a personal
I,
gift.
it's such a personal gift. And so, and I would scent it with essential oils. And people were like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like this made my body feel good. I take like, these are 20-year-olds who I was like, oh, okay. I'm onto something. And I just started thinking, I'm like, oh, this is fun. And I remember I think my first iteration was like I was living in San Francisco, so it was like City Girl Organics. That was like my first name. And then I ended up moving to Los Angeles with Bloomingdale's. And I actually had a body care business. I say business loosely. I made 3 products. It was a body scrub. I had like a whipped souffle, I called it. It was a
Oh,
cream.
wow.
And then I created these shower sprays. This is 13 years ago. So clean beauty was not a thing.
Yeah.
Shower steamers, sprays. No one had heard of it. I mixed water and glycerin and essential oils, and I did a lavender to relax at night, and I did a eucalyptus peppermint to like clear in the morning.
Oh, I love
Um,
it.
And I was like literally selling it out of my house. I never got an account. It was very, very tiny. It was called Six of Diamonds. I have pictures of it and I actually have some of the containers. But no one knew what clean beauty was. They were like, what do you mean this is toxic? Why would I spend money on this? Like, I had no idea. And so it was
Yeah.
literally before, it was right before the clean beauty kind of revolution happened. And I met my husband. We decided to get married on our third date.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, 13 years this year, 2 kids. We decided to get married on our 3rd date, and that was a whirlwind, if you can imagine.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure.
yeah, and so we ended up traveling and, it just wasn't the right time, and, it's never the perfect time, but you do have to be in the flow and not, like, go
Yeah.
up against it. It was
Well, and
just
I feel
not
like
the right
the
time.
universe kinda guides you and it starts really
Yes.
pushing you to where you can't stop thinking about it. You're really starting to kind of create little things that are connected to it. How can I do this? What can I do? And when the timings, you said, it aligns,
It
it just
aligns.
yeah.
Fast forward, we move here. I have my daughter. She's about a year old. A friend of mine she makes earrings, and she says, I'm going to have this shop at my house for the holidays, and I'm going to sell a bunch of earrings. And I said, can I make a bunch of body care products and like bring them over? So I like went to Costco and got all these ingredients like sugar, and I got all these wonderful oils, and I made bath salts with like flowers in them, and
Wow.
I sold out. And by that, I mean, I made like 20 products and I sold out. And I was like, and I had been kind of saying, like, hey, what is that thing that I love? All of a sudden, I was like, what do you mean? What do I love? This is what I love. And
This
that
is
was
what
the precipice. And that was for my daughter's 5. So that was 4 years ago. I went to this little, holiday bazaar at a girlfriend's house. And I just started reaching out to some of my old contacts. And it took me 2.5 years to create everything, but I found my packaging. I did everything custom. I designed all the logo and the copy and the font. And I found a women owned lab in the Northeast. Come to find out, she's this master chemist. She's been in Vogue and
wow.
she's launched since then. I'm grandfathered in because I've been with them for, 4 years now, but we
Oh,
worked, we worked on it for 2 years. And so it wasn't
wow,
one
Jyoti.
product. I was very ambitious. I wanted to have a whole routine. So I actually launched with 5
Yeah.
products.
Wow. That's amazing.
But Jacqueline and I, she's got olive skin and more mature skin. And then I have more fair skin. And so she was sort of my guinea pig of like, how we go to spas and we know all the best of the best products. Okay, well, we're going to create the best of the best of the best. And
Uh-huh.
so I worked with her, and I said, like, these are the ingredients from Morocco I loved, and Bali that I loved, and all these different ingredients that I pulled together, and then of course all the ones I didn't want to put together. And she helped me to create these products, and I launched them November of 2023. So it was 2 years
Wow.
of, I was still home with a 1 and 3-year-old at the time, and, I can remember my daughter, like, breastfeeding my daughter and talking about, like, packaging and how many layers of, the plastic on the tube and, different things like that, and going back and
Yeah.
forth with files. And I think a lot of people were like, what are you doing? This is so random. Is this ever gonna launch? Like, what do you mean? You're not a chemist, you've never worked in beauty. Um,
Oh, it doesn't
but
matter. It's like you're
doesn't
learning as
matter.
you go. And I find myself like with this podcast, I'll get frustrated and, I'm like, oh, what am I doing? And then without even thinking, I start doing something for it.
Yep.
I'm just doing these little things. So I'm like, oh, wait, I love this. Like, I don't want to stop doing this. And you find
And you
yourself
find your
doing it in
way.
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
you're like, how did I even just do this? And it just, you just keep going, even when you can't believe that you're going. So look at you. I mean, you were managing, with the little ones and breastfeeding
Mhm.
and creating these products at that time. Wow. So that
Yeah.
you launched it in November. So you've been up and running, you said, for 2 years.
It's about
So
2.5. So we're in
okay.
April,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think. So November. So about 2.5. And, stay at home mom, never worked in beauty, never had a sales job. I was always on the creative side. Um, but I love people and I love
Yeah.
connecting and I love body care. And I, my mom was very big on affirmations and mantras. And I've always grown up knowing that the most important conversation we have is with ourselves.
Yes.
And especially postpartum when you're like, oh, my body's different. I don't have enough sleep, the hormones. And so I ended up saying, okay, I love skincare and body care. We do it every day, right? It's a routine that we do every day. And so
Yeah.
I put the mantras on the packaging to inspire and create for myself a purposeful pause in my day as I used my body care and as I cared for myself. I create beauty and abundance in my life. I choose love. I'm
Right.
open to all the good that life has to offer. So it was like the world's, the beauty and the spirituality and connection to nurturing our body and soul is
Yeah.
really the the foundation and the philosophy
Which
behind the
it's
brand.
a full circle moment going back to
Mhm.
when you were little and your mom teaching you this and really showing you how to take care of yourself and that self-love. And so
Yep.
now when people go on your website, the products highlight the way that you can really take care of yourself and that
Yeah.
beautiful ritual that you can
Yeah.
really take for every day. So,
Yeah. Well,
the
I think that we're so optimized, right? We're the 5 minute this, that it's like, how do we do everything so efficient? And I
yeah,
think we've lost some of the slowing down. And I think
yeah.
it's great to be optimized. I love, AI and all the things, but I think there's opportunity to, and it doesn't have to be a long time and it doesn't have to, I think joy and wellness is like not about restriction and taking things away or adding too much. It's about finding the rituals that are meaningful
Mhm.
and doing them consistently. So
Well, you
whatever those habits are.
you said that to me when we were talking on the phone before we did this podcast, how you really are focused on being present.
Mhm.
And one amazing thing about your brand is using these beautiful products is they really do help you, kind of focus on being present for yourself in those
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
And it was so inspiring hearing you say that because I use the word balance a lot, but I love that word presence and just being
Well, and
present in every moment.
I think you just had such a good insight. I talk a lot about presence in my business and I talk about a lot about presence with my children, but you just said it's presence with ourselves too,
Yeah.
right? It's presence
Yeah.
with ourselves. Like we use the word balance or presence or harmony or whatever we use, it's usually exterior. And I think that
Mm,
it's such an important point because this brand is about presence with ourselves so that we can
yeah.
have presence with others. It's it's those little habits. If you have presence with yourself for 5 or 10 minutes in the morning and 5 or 10 minutes in the evening when you're doing the body oil, I love to use the body oil right before I get in bed on the neck and décolleté, and
Oh, yeah.
it's vitamin rich, it glides on. It's such a sensual oil. It's such a beautiful time to be present with yourself and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
you did great today. You
Yeah, and
showed
really
up."
nurture your body. And then, of course, when you
Yeah.
go to bed and just having that soft smell of the oil, I love that.
Yeah.
Now, I know people they can follow you on Instagram. They can, find your beautiful products on your website, BeautyWayCo, okay,
.com. Yeah, yeah.
.com. Wow.
Um, yes, they can follow me. The new thing I'm doing, which is I've been doing it for about a year. And again, having no experience in this space, I was having a treatment at a local spa and they were using this body salt doing a body treatment, and they were using this salt, which is a little rough. But I thought, oh, this would be great for like a foot scrub. And so I said, hey, do you sell this? And they said, oh no, we don't. And I went, ding, ding, ding. And I ended up finding a therapist, and she and I created 6 treatments for spas that use my products, which was something now I realize like a lot of companies do this, but I had no idea. And I just thought like, wow, that, that, that helps people understand how to use them. They can feel how effective they are and how they make them feel. And then also they can bring that, buy that and bring that spa and that feeling and that smell, our olfactory reminds us back to that treatment and connection at home. So last year,
Yeah.
I launched in the Fairmont, and they have a Beauty Way manicure and pedicure. So they use all of the products there.
Wow,
And
Jyoti. The Fairmont in Austin.
in Austin, um, I've now launched at the Thompson in San Antonio, and you can do a really beautiful body polish with the products, body treatment. And really exciting news, the proper here in Austin will be launching May 1st. And it's called the Beauty Way Ritual. There's sound healing, there's breath work. It's a full 75-minute or 90-minute treatment where you use all the products in conjunction with this just very soul nurturing treatment. And
Congratulations. How
yes, thank you.
exciting.
Yeah. So you can see it and feel it in real life, and also obviously at home. And then we've got
Yeah.
some other really exciting resorts coming up here in June. That's sort of a dream come true. So we're working on that. And something I've found that I had no idea, as you create these products, and I have a couple of products launching this year too, and I love that creative process. But now I've dipped into this, creating these bespoke signature treatments for properties. So, connecting with what the property values and what the property, there's the one that I'm doing outside of Austin here is a wellness resort. And so we're going to really tap into their property using the Beauty Way and creating this really signature treatment that is such a fun part. I had no idea I was going to be able to do, but like the lead therapist and the spa director and I will just start playing with the products, and
Yeah.
we'll create a playlist for it, and I'll draw on
Wow.
some beauty treatments I did in Bali or some beauty treatments I did in Morocco, and we'll sort of weave these into
Mhm.
treatments in spas. So
Wow,
that's
so you can go
become,
in and have this, like, personalized experience in these
yeah,
different spas that fit what that spa, that kind of their, foundation and
their
what.
foundation and
Yeah.
whatever their fabric is, we get to pull that in, using the products. And a lot of times we'll have, mantras in the products and breath work and different things. So it's become this whole other side of um, that purposeful pause and that
Oh,
reconnection to
yeah.
yourself. So that's been such a fun part. I had no idea. I was thinking, okay, I'll sell it in retail, but here you get to really experience it. And I think that, that for me has been just a dream come true, because talk about
Yeah.
feeling nurtured, right?
Wow, and this natural progression to what it's supposed to be for
Yes,
you in this brand and how it'll impact people and being more present for themselves and they're in for
absolutely.
their family. Yeah,
Absolutely. And then
really
being able to take it
exciting.
home and sort of redo that, redo
Yeah,
that purposeful pause and that connecting into yourself. So yeah,
yeah.
it's been such a fun, unexpected part of this journey.
Wow. No,
Yeah.
I love too, though, that for people who can't necessarily go to Austin and go to these spas, they can find your products on your
Mhm,
website.
mhm.
And of course, I'll have the link added to this podcast, and they can follow you on your Instagram page
Instagram.
for.
Yeah.
Yes. I think you are so inspiring, and I love your story, and I love what you're creating for people and also for your children, yourself and your family, you know? What a great
Thank
way to
you.
honor your mom too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's my muse.
tell her we say hi.
I will. She's
We
definitely my muse, and she's actually
uh,
just moved to Austin from Santa Cruz, California, so
ah.
she traded the redwoods and the beach for Austin, Texas to be near us and to help out, so it's been great. Yeah, she's been a muse, and, my daughter my son's very into Lego, and so he'll create these villages, and he'll have a little figure, and he'll say, "This is mommy entrepreneur," "This is mommy founder," and my
Oh,
daughter will ask for a beauty way bath, so yeah, they're really and I like to include them even when I don't think they'll totally understand when when I get to create a treatment, but I try to involve them in the
yeah.
day to day of what I'm doing and what I'm building because um, I want them
They'll
to
remember
know
that.
that, yeah, they'll remember that and how exciting that I get to build it alongside them. I'm not trading, motherhood for dreams or dreams
Yeah.
for motherhood, right? I get to um, work on that presence in both of those
Yeah,
areas and
in
have them
real-time.
in real time and have them here and watching it and my daughter loves the products and she'll say stuff to me like mommy, I love myself and I know how to use my intuition and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're 5. You're paying
Well,
attention.
didn't you say that you at 5 knew your whole Reiki or
Yeah,
had
we did a Reiki degree when I was 5.
a
So,
degree?
like,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, little bit of energy healing. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hoping that I'm doing I'm giving those. I feel like my mom just gave me such a toolbox
Mhm.
for navigating, loving myself and having the confidence to be myself.
Yeah,
And
absolutely, you
I'm just
did.
hoping I'm doing that same thing, with my kids. And again, it's and also again being present for myself and who I am in this world and what I want to contribute. And I just think that I just love to share. I just love to
Yeah,
share this message and this connection. And, my the thing that makes my heart feel the fullest is when I get a message from someone that's like, I had a crazy day. I just got a friend of mine. She got a little discovery set I have on my website that just is kind of the gateway drug I call it because it's little ones and you can try it and then you go okay. And she
okay,
met
yeah,
and she
you fall in
messaged
love.
me, you fall in love. And she messaged me and said, she's got 4 kids and she said, I just had a crazy day. I need a moment. And she went and she, used the products and said the mantras and slowed down. And she's like, it works.
It
I
worked.
really, yeah. And I thought that, and I hear
I
that often. And that's really like, that's the purpose of all of this is that whatever you're busy with, because we don't all have kids, but we all got stresses and things that are
yeah.
piling up on our to-do list. And I think if you can take that moment and feel nurtured, then I'm happy.
Well, and it's nice having something there, like your products staring at you, you're reminded to,
Yes.
"Wait, I can take a moment for myself." You see the body scrub and you're like, "Okay, oh, and the oil. Okay, I'm excited. I really need to take some time. I'll be, taking a bath or
I'll be
treating
taking a
myself
bath
up
and
the
yeah.
next 30 minutes. Do not
Yeah.
disturb.
Yeah.
Mom is
Yeah,
off the clock."
exactly.
You
Mom is
know?
off the clock. Yeah. The products are the vehicle. That's how I share the message. And then,
Yeah.
hopefully the message resonates and then you feel better. And again, it's our daily habits. It's the little things that we do that add up to real change and real nurturing.
Well, you were such an inspiration, and I don't wanna hold you up. I know you've got a lot, going on today. I want you to have some time for yourself. I do like to ask if there is any products, that you remember that was discontinued that you might miss, or it could be a fragrance or a skincare. Is there anything that pops in your mind?
I was trying to think of that because I've used so many products over the years. And I think that I couldn't remember one thing, but it is the reason I created a product line because I never found the one that was like that hit all of the marks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I was trying to think of that and I can't think of one product. What's yours? I'm sure do you have a lot?
I have quite a few. Most
Okay.
of them are lipsticks, skincare. I talk about prescriptives, the
Uh-huh.
brand. a lot. It was something that I love, like their magic powder, the, Tom Ford paper doll lipstick. But there's so many
Okay.
things. It's like for me, finding, looking, I continue to look for that thing. I'm like through my life, and I'm like, oh wait, this is close because I fell in love. But I love that because you didn't necessarily find something that fit what you love, and now you just went ahead and
Yeah.
created it.
Just decided
What a
to create
badass!
it. Well, thank you. I
Oh,
love talking to
oh,
you.
I love it, and I thank you so much for being here on Sorry It's Discontinued with me, Jody, and I'll have the links on the podcast, and I wish you all the success, and not that you need it. You're doing amazing.
Well, thank you, you too. And I love that you're tuning into your creativity and doing something that you love. It's powerful.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take
All
care
right.
and enjoy the
Thank
rest of your
you.
day,
You
okay?
too. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Sorry, It's Discontinued, the podcast that brings you the reality of retail and the people, brands, stores, and products we all love. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit follow, leave a review, or share it with a fellow retail warrior. You can always connect with me or support the show at sorryitsdiscontinued.com or buymeacoffee.com/sorry podcast. Now, this podcast is independently produced and not sponsored by any brand, company, or organization. All views, opinions, and personal stories shared are their own and do not represent any retailer or brand mentioned. Brand names, product references, and service mentions are included for storytelling and commentary purposes only. But I thank you so much for sitting with me today. And remember, continue to shop in store, support your local stores and your local sales associates. You can even call them and order. It's amazing. And every visit helps keep these stores open so we can all continue enjoying real in-person retail therapy. And I'll see you next time. I appreciate you so much. Bye. Sorry. It's discontinued.